Former President Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail and returning to a familiar playbook. Trump's speech in Waco, Texas was littered with his old lies about the 2020 election and the border wall. Also, some fresh attacks on his current legal situation as he is facing at least one possible indictment that's looming. CNN's Daniel Dale joins us now with a fact check. Daniel, I guess, one of the questions that we ask is where do we begin? Sometimes I feel like it's easier to count the truths in his speech versus the lies, but where can you take us on this?
It can be. Let's start this time with a wildly exaggerated figure that former President Trump keeps using, despite fact checks from me and others, for the amount of military equipment that was left to the Taliban upon the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Listen to this.
We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving behind dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment anywhere in the world.
So that 85 billion figure is not even close to true. The Pentagon has put the value of that equipment left behind at about 7 billion. Independent experts have told me that makes sense. So where does the 85 billion come from? Well, that is a rounded figure. It was actually about 83 billion for the total amount of money that Congress appropriated to the Afghan security forces over the entire course of the war. Not even close to all that, Jim, was for equipment. It was things like salaries, like infrastructure, like training. About 19 billion in total was equipment, about 7 billion left behind. Now, I'm not saying 7 billion left behind is a good thing before I get angry emails from Trump supporters, but it's important for public figures to get their facts straight.
All right, and you might get those emails anyway. But Daniel, Trump can't seem to get through the rally these days without lying about the border wall. This is one that we've heard time and again. Let's listen.
I built hundreds of miles of wall and completed that task totally as promised, and then I began to add even more wall in areas where it was needed.
Let's fact check this one.
I think I did this after the last big Trump speech on your show. So
yes.
Again, former President Trump did not finish the wall. He essentially refutes his own statement by saying it was finished, then we were building more where it was needed. It was still needed because it was not done. And we know this from official figures released by Customs and Border Protection right after Trump left office. They said 480 miles had been constructed under Trump, it was 458 miles completed under Trump, but 280 remaining miles had been identified for wall construction, but were not done. So having 280 miles left to go is not even close to complete.
And Mexico never paid for it, for those of us who are old enough to remember that one. And Trump references legal issues. Here's what he had to say about that.
Prosecutorial misconduct is their new tool, and they are willing to use it at levels never seen before in our country. We've had it, but we've never had it like this. We must stop.
What's the reality on this one?
Look, we don't know a lot about the various investigations. They're shrouded in secrecy. I don't want to declare that they're perfect investigations, but there is no evidence of actual prosecutorial misconduct at this point. So we can't say the investigations were perfect. Well, President Trump cannot say with any evidence that there has been misconduct. And indeed, when he makes these claims, he does not provide any specific corroboration, any specific proof for any misconduct by any of these prosecutors.
Right, which is what he always does. All right, Daniel Dale, thank you very much. We appreciate it.